Electric vehicles have been big news for the last couple of years during the pandemic, 2021, 2022. I mean, essentially, if an automaker is not introducing or talking about a new electric vehicle, they might as well be just packing up their things, closing up shop, and, getting out of Dodge. Yeah, it kind of fits, eh? And the thing with the news is, I mean, besides the regulations and the requirements, and like the Canadian government saying that 20% of all new car sales have to be EVs by 2026, which doesn't seem realistic to me. At least not in early 2023, less than 3 years from now. At this point, what we're usually reading about is giant screens, massive tech, big power, huge range, and overly priced vehicles. And it's kind of funny that my first press unit for 2023 happens to be this. This is one of the few, for the moment, people's EVs, because they're affordable and they're easy to use and very user friendly. Got easy to use, user friendly. I got this. And it's been a very revealing week, because not only, well, am I reviewing this, I'm actually doing something else which isn't exactly working out the way I had planned. But in a nutshell, in late 2022, I purchased a portable level 2 charger, which you can plug into a 220, 240 volt outlet and plug with level 2 capability any EV. And this happened to be the first EV that I'm driving with this portable level 2 charger, and it's been mind expanding as far as experience is concerned, because up until then all I had was my 110 plug with the portable cable that you usually get with the vehicle in order to charge the car, which we know can, even for a battery the size of the Souls, which I'll tell you more about in a few moments, can take not hours but almost days, which is kind of insane when you think about it. But I'm discovering, the more EVs that I drive, and this applies to most auto journalists, I suppose, the more EVs you drive, the more we get into the mind frame of more than just driving and reviewing the EVs, but owning them. And that's where this level 2 charger really comes in. And it has effectively enabled me to discover what, well, in this case, the Kia Soul can actually do when charging, or how you can actually make it work. I said mind expanding, and it really is that. And because this isn't a Porsche Taycan or Mercedes-Benz EQS or something like that, it's all the more relevant, I believe, for you, for me, and for the very vast majority of us people looking for affordable, efficient mobility. Because as far as the EVs are concerned, there are very few in Canada, because this is not available in the US, that beat the Kia Soul. Isn't that cool? A little piece of trivia right there. This isn't new. There isn't anything new, not since 2020 anyhow, with the Soul EV. But still, I think as an electric vehicle, it has so much going for it, starting with the design, which the Soul has always been cool since the day it hit the road. Has it been over a decade? I think. Has it been a decade? Anyway. Anyhow, so in the following review video, what we're going to do is the quick walk around and then a drive, and I'll touch on a few other things that just make this EV so relevant. I guess that's really the word that I need to be using. So here we go. Now, one of the first things I came across when wanting to recharge the Soul EV, and this one's kind of obvious, but is that any automaker that puts a charge port door on the front bumper or anywhere near the front, they're doing it absolutely completely wrong. Now, I tried to shoot a video of me taking or breaking off the ice and slush crust all along the front bumper. I have about 3 minutes of footage, but there's a little bit too much cursing going on. I might be able to edit a little piece just to show you what it was like. I mean, it's obvious, but, and I said this before, I know like the G80 electrified sedan has the same thing, a front mounted charge port. and it's just a complete mistake. I mean, any automaker that puts it on the side, in the front, or whatever, I mean, on the side, in the front, or in the rear, they're doing it right. This is a massive mistake. And yeah, fine. If you live below the snow belt, okay, maybe. But anyway, this isn't available in the US. But the point is that winters are no longer the winters we used to know. They're just catastrophes waiting to happen. So there's no reason for that. Next generation, I'm sure, of all EVs, they won't have charge port doors in the front. That's a big no-no. Okay, so, well, I'm kind of repeating myself, but there hasn't been a Soul EV sold in the US since 2019. So this is the severely updated 2020 version, so of the second generation Soul. So pricing in Canada it's quite simple: $43,095 for the base model, $52,000, which is the Premier, and the upper trim, which is the limited, $52,095. And that's the model you're looking at right here. Standard features, well, they're all there. I mean, 10.25-inch touchscreen, navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, 17-inch wheels, LED lights, heated steering wheel, front seats. That's all in the base vehicle. Now, in my limited here, you get leather seats, cooled front seats as well as rear heated seats. There's a heat pump, which is a huge advantage, a Harman Kardon audio, and a sunroof. And the big differences are the larger battery and the more powerful electric motor. So I'll tell you a bit more about that once we get inside. And by the way, there are only 4 colors, if I'm not mistaken, for the vehicle. And this is Neptune Blue, and it is by far the most interesting and appealing color of the ones available for the Soul. I mean, we've already done one lap, and it's just a very cool crossover vehicle. Every angle is just neat. It's not unique because there's so many. At least in Quebec, this thing is selling extremely well, and always has, relatively speaking. Do the quick usual tour. Open up the trunk. Kia says that this is 663 liters of boot space. There is room under here, a considerable amount in fact, but 663 seems a little bit exaggerated. I mean, there is no depth to it, and the width is fairly limited, but you know, it's still usable. I did go to Costco and it all fit, and I did buy TP and stuff, so maybe too much information there, sorry about that. And it is serving as the family hauling vehicle, and it's working out just fine. I mean, it's not exactly the biggest vehicle, but you already knew that, so I'm just more or less repeating stuff that you've read before, and I've reviewed this vehicle, not the electric one, in the past, or maybe I have. Drive too many cars, that's a problem, eh? But as always, look, it's the attention to detail in the Kia products. Although this is clearly a little bit some of the older, touch surfaces and design features. And I mean, you don't have a flat dual screen like most of them do now, but even so. And these seats are generally comfortable. I mean, it's got power lumbar support, which doesn't do much, but it's there. I guess we can roll in at this point. So you do have a little digital readout there. Let's start it up. I mean, it's fairly straightforward in here. Oh, there goes another Soul. I don't know if you saw that in the top right of your corner, the screen. It's kind of funny. Yeah, steering wheels, good grip. The controls are very straightforward. It might be a little bit too big, but whatever, that works. The 10.25-inch screen is responsive. The menus are all there. It's very easy. I'm going to get back to this in a moment. Storage is decent. The bin, decent. What else can I say? Oh, yeah. So you have your drive modes here, just to show you. So I'm pressing the button. So you have Eco Plus if you hold it, Sport, Normal. I've been driving an Eco almost exclusively, and also, I don't know if you can hear that. Well, maybe not because the music's on, I just realized. When you go into Eco, it modifies the HVAC settings. Nothing crazy fancy here. One of the things that I did discover is because I have a portable level 2 charger, I can't program the charger to start at some time or do other things. But the Soul and most EVs, you can actually do that already. So what I've done is I've scheduled in when the vehicle can charge. I've scheduled a climate upon, before startup. It's very, very simple. You can do this easily. I mean, you don't need an intelligent charger, although there are advantages, and I am personally looking forward to finding out more about that. But most cars have, well, I want to say all EVs have these functionalities. Just going back, I don't know what else is there to show. There isn't much. I mean, it's very straightforward. Kia Connect, I wish I could use, but I don't have a code to actually set it up completely. Point is, this you've seen. I've reviewed a number of Kia and Hyundai products in the recent weeks, in the last few weeks, I should say, and this is top notch. Just before we move to the driving portion, these are the paddles for the regen braking, and there you go. Oh, I don't know if you saw that. Maybe you did. But the battery is at 95%. And I have an indicated 322 kilometers of range now. So here we go. I'll elaborate on that as of right now. Okay, so the main reason why you select the Soul EV Limited over the Premium is for the larger battery and the more powerful electric motor. Now, the battery difference is in the base Premium, you get a 39.2 kilowatt hour unit, whereas in this one, you get a 64 kilowatt hour battery. The difference in range on paper is considerable. You're looking at 248 kilometers with the smaller battery and up to 383 with the larger one. As you just saw, I mean, on a 95% state of charge, I'm at 322 kilometers. And for all intensive purposes, I've only plugged it in twice. I've been driving it, well, hard. I'm kind of addicted to electrons, so I usually exaggerate when it comes to driving EVs, especially now with the portable charger. It's going to be terrible. I'll never average the, indicated efficiency. But the point is, even in temperatures such as right now, we're in the minus 10, closing between minus 5 and minus 10 degrees Celsius. And with 322 indicated, I firmly believe that 383 is real. There is one big difference going on too now. I mean, there is very little snow on the roads. So maybe a little bit more wheel spin, slightly more aggressive driving, and temperatures that could easily drop to minus 20 will affect the battery. But I want to say that there's no need to worry. The battery range or efficiency shouldn't, based on what I'm experiencing, you shouldn't get more than, say, a 20% range loss from 380 kilometers. But if you factor in that 20% of the 248, then that becomes a little bit more of an issue, because then you're hovering, in 200 kilometers of full range. It might be a little bit sketch. Another reason why, I'm enjoying this quite a bit is that it has a 201 horsepower electric motor as opposed to the standard or base 134 horsepower electric motor. Both have 291 pound-feet of torque, which come in at slightly different speeds. But this, as with all EVs, the instant torque is just so much fun. And when the road surface is a little slippery, the front wheels spin a lot. On board, 7.2 kilowatt charger. So with the level 2 charger, which is capable, I think it's 7.4 kilowatts. Look, an overnight charge is an easy thing. Like I showed you, I set it from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., so off-peak hours. And unless I'm really, really low, so in that like 8-hour period, unless I drop to, say, 10% charge and I want to bring it to up to 100, I might not have enough with those 8 hours. But I'd say for 95% of occasions where you want to charge off-peak, using the car to charge, I mean, it's liberating. In the past, what I was saying is, yes, the 110 volt portable charger that comes with the vehicle is what I used, or looked for public charging stations. Now I don't even care, really, unless I'm going on a long road trip, which I plan to do with a very hot EV right now in the next few weeks, so we'll see about that. what more can I say? I mean, the ride quality in this Soul is surprisingly good. It's got a multi-link rear suspension. It's fully independent. The ride quality is good. I think that the fact that it rolls on 17-inch wheels as opposed to massive 18s makes a big difference. But even so, I mean, this is fun. It's tossable. It's short. It's not that heavy. I think about 4,500 pounds, which is considerably heavy for a small crossover. But I'm enjoying this a lot. And with the paddle shifters that I showed you, so there are 4 regen modes, essentially off, 1, 2, and 3 levels. And if you pull back and hold the third pedal, you will get one pedal driving. Um, that was cool maybe 2 years ago, but now, I mean, you should be able to have max regen and the vehicle comes to a full stop on its own. Even in level 3 regen, it won't come to a full stop, which I'm going to try and do now quickly. Now you can feel the regen kind of back off, and here I go, coasting right through a one of those weird octagonal, I can't talk, red signs. But yeah, the for $42,000, the base Soul is, you get 95% of what you get, well, equipment-wise anyway. The extra power, it's not neither here nor there. It's really just the range. But honestly, with a level 2 charger and the vast majority of driving I do, it would be, even for a 75 kilometer and a day, 70 to 75 kilometer commute daily, you could technically go 2 days without recharging, even in minus 20 degree weather. Anyhow, this is one of the few people's EVs, along with the Nissan Leaf and other Kia and Hyundai EVs. I mean, and there isn't anything else under, say, 60 or, I mean, yeah, the Ioniq and the EV6, but that's what I mean. Those are available. But if you do spend the money for this, then you really are in Ioniq and EV6 territory, which have a little bit more modernity to them. Is that even a word? So like the base, if you really want to get into an EV, this or a Leaf or a Bolt, like the basic models, and a home charger, portable or not, and you'll be living the life, because all incentives obviously apply to these vehicles. And that's it.